Okay, well, guys, we're here at Nervous Rex with my first female human guest,
Oh my God!
Hannah Stocking. So, and you're the first, this is your first podcast.
It sure is. You bet your bottom dollar it is.
You bet, and what, bet your bottom dollar, where does that come from? I always like to know when there's terms like that, like you bet your, what is bottom, I guess your last dollar, right? Your bottom dollar would be your last dollar.
See, I never even
No,
thought
I like
about
figuring
that.
those things out.
No, because my grandma, growing up, she would always say weird sayings, and I never really thought about where it came from. Like, she always says, oh, it's like the gale and the heifer of dust.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. No idea what that means, but she says it all the time.
Is she a Southern woman? Where's she from?
She's from Hemet, California.
Oh, that's not a Southern woman.
No.
See, my grandmother was a Southern woman.
Why are you touching your nipples like that?
Because I'm horny. My mother was a Southern woman. Whenever I say Southern woman, I touch my chest. My grandmother was a Southern woman, and she would always say these Southern sayings like, "Ooh, boy, you a long drink of water," and I didn't know what that meant. It means I'm refreshing. It means I'm tall. I still don't know if I know. And she'd say stuff like, "Oh, we're gonna line them up like ducks in a row." I don't know what that means, but they were cute. They were cute sayings nonetheless. That just, I need more sayings.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Like I feel like it's an old time like England. A lot of those things come from like it's raining cats and dogs. That comes from England, and there was actually cats and dogs that would slide off the roof when it would rain. So they would say it's raining cats and dogs.
Wait,
I have a
that's
book.
so sad.
Well, I guess if they died. I have a book.
Wait, what were they doing on the roof?
They were just being cats and meow.
Cats
They were
and dogs. There's never a dog on the top of a roof.
But there's cats. Wait, but I mean, it's raining cats and dogs because, there's all these sayings. I had a book like flash in the pan. You ever heard that term? It's a flash in the pan.
No.
That's like a gun thing from an old musket. I had a book called Red Herrings and Loose Cannons or something like that, and it explained all these terms. I was fascinated with it, and a lot of them come from England. So there you have
That's cool. Have you ever played Wise and Otherwise?
No, what's that?
It's kind of like a game where it says little sayings like that, like curiosity killed the cat.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to guess where it originated from, or like where it came from. And
I
what's
love
the
this game.
meaning. Yeah.
Is this a board game or is this like a?
Yeah. Or
Is it like a heads up game? I bet you'd be good at heads up. That's a fun interact. You know that game where you?
Oh my God,
right?
yeah.
Isn't that a fun game?
Mm-hmm.
Like good drunk game.
Yeah, I cracked my neck because I got really into it.
Heads down.
Heads down.
I feel like you'd be a good heads upper. That game is never not fun.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all else fails, heads up.
Heck yeah, man.
I don't know. Going backwards a little bit, listeners, we have Hannah Stocking here, who's obviously known for her Instagram, YouTube fame. Did you start on Vine? I forget. We talked about this. Was Vine your first foray? Is the word foray into the foray?
I don't even know what you're
There's
trying
a
to
term.
say.
It's like a fancy term. Like this is your foray. A foyer is when you walk into a room. There's a foray. This is your first soiree into the regalia.
Yeah.
Your introduction to showbiz, was it Vine?
Yeah.
And what was you just did silly vines?
Here's what happened. So I was in college in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Too short.
Too short.
T-O-double-D.
He's coming on the show. Anyway.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. But yeah, so I was in the Bay Area, and I had an academic scholarship and an athletic scholarship. I played volleyball in college, and academically I was double majoring in biology and chemistry, and I really wanted to be a doctor. So to be competitive for that, I took on embryonic stem cell research, right?
Who doesn't?
Right. So my time was I didn't really have a lot of time, right? And since I'm from Oregon, went to college in the Bay Area, my family moved down to LA. So whenever I went down to LA, I had no friends. I really just hung
You still
out.
have no friends, but go ahead.
Yeah, same.
Right.
So I would hang out with my parents and my animals, and then I would go to the gym often to work out and get ready for volleyball. And that's where I met Day Storm in batch.
No way. I
At
didn't
the
know this
gym.
story. So you met them at the gym and they said, hey, be in one of our videos.
They were actually the only ones who
No way.
weren't trying to mac on me or
Right.
like pick
Oh,
me
that's
up.
what you think. They were like, hey, be in my video. They were going for the long approach, which isn't like, let me get your number. It's like, hey, be in one of my videos and eventually, I know what they're doing.
Okay, well, I didn't at the time. Instead
Okay.
of like, hey, what that mouth do? Like they
Right.
came.
Is that a line? What that mouth do? Would someone
Yeah.
really say that to a woman? Look, I'm old. I'm 44 years old. You're a young woman.
I
I'm
got
from
that
the
a lot in the Bay Area.
What that mouth do? Mm-hmm. That is almost sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued. I'm offended. And I think I'm going to use it. So, okay. So God, I feel so out of touch. What that mouth, is it mouth or mouth?
Mouth, M-O-U-F.
What that mouth do? Okay, so they put you in the video and you were funny and you stole the show. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, who's the pretty girl you got with comic timing and an effervescent glow? Next thing you know, you started getting followers.
Yeah, because I made my first Vine, guys checking out girls versus girls checking out guys. And it was like the guy would walk by and all the girls like, oh my God, he's so cute. Ooh. And then like the girl would walk by and all the guys were like, damn, oh my God, let me get a piece of that. And like jump on
What that
my
mouth
back.
do?
What that mouth do.
Right.
And then it cut. And then I got like 100,000 followers in one day.
One day. And this is because, let's be honest, pre-existing, obviously, Batch and who was it? D-Storm?
Daystorm.
Daystorm or D-Storm?
Daystorm, Janina's boyfriend.
Yeah, I thought it was D-Storm.
Daystorm.
Okay. Stormy.
Mm-hmm.
They both had a good amount of followers at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably in the millions yet or in Vine? Or,
No, I think Daystorm probably had like 200, 300, 500K.
which was big at the time.
Yeah, and Batch was like the only one that had 1 million. And
Okay.
it was like a huge deal.
And what year are we talking about here? This is like 2011, 12?
Probably like 2012, 13.
Okay, that's when Vine was hot. And Vine for a minute, I'll be honest, like I loved Vine.
I know, I remember seeing you on Vine.
It was like the funnest. Okay, do me a favor. I'm really trying to work on not saying like. I think our generation. Well,
Am I saying? I feel like I'm saying like a lot.
we all do. Everybody says like too much and not in the correct form. Like I just did it.
Yeah, you did.
Not in the correct form. For instance, I would like a sandwich. That's okay. But when people say and I was like and like, it's getting out of control.
It is.
So let's try to make a mental note of how much we say it. So anytime I say it incorrectly, just reach across the table and slap me as hard as you can.
Okay, and likewise.
Oh, you didn't? That was correct. So I was into Vine, which I didn't feel that I needed to do because I already was making a living and I just thought it would be a fun vehicle and a fun toy. And I saw what people were doing and I saw Rudy on there. I remember seeing Rudy and thinking, this dude's got something. He's so funny. He's so cute. He's a little rascal. He looks like he's Hispanic and Brazilian or some type of little something. And I think he's adorable. And I want to put him in my pocket and chew him up and spit him out and regurgitate him and eat him again and then show him to my family. So Rudy, the coffee's kicking in. Rudy was the first person that really jumped out to me as something this guy could do a lot more than just be on the 6-second island called Vine. So I started playing with it. I'm like, I just said it. I said it.
I didn't even notice.
See, you don't even notice. That's how bad it is. Mm-hmm. So I started to do it and it just got a great response. I had these characters, Twin Steven, my gay identical twin.
Oh, I remember seeing those.
People
yeah.
loved them.
Uh-huh.
I had these other characters and all of a sudden I'm like, this is the funnest toy I've ever had in my life. So I just started playing with it and I got like 1 million followers and it created this whole new lane for me. So I loved it. Oh, you got to go pee? Oh, okay. Did I really say? I didn't even notice I said it.
Like 1 million followers.
Okay, that's incorrect.
Right?
Okay, so maybe if I slow down and I think about it. Do I get to slap you if you say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Likewise. That's what I said.
Okay. So I just thought it was a fun toy and I didn't need to do it. You didn't need to either. You were already an academic scholar girl with her degree in nuclear
Pre-med.
physics.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Pre-med.
Pre-med.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said biochemistry.
Yeah, no, I double majored in biology and
Double
chemistry.
majored? I never single majored. So you're what you call an intelligent woman.
Or you could say I'm just intelligent in the scientific field.
Which is intelligent.
I mean,
There's
in
not
one
too many-
field or another, you know?
There's not too many women in Hollywood who have, talent, good looks, who say, oh, I want to be a Smarty girl. But they don't say it like that voice. But you know what I mean? It's interesting because you could fall back on your brain as opposed to just relying on comic timing and your looks.
Yeah.
So one day you might be a nuclear physicist or a stem cell girl, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's just good that you have that as a backup, I feel.
Yeah.
So that's arsenal, a plethora of weapons that you have at your disposal.
Ooh, nice word.
Where most, not saying any names, but most girls in this town are just dependent on I'm pretty. That ain't gonna last too long. Yeah, I'm pretty. And then you're 37 years old and the shit hits the fan.
Ooh.
So I can't wait for you to be a biotech engineer, STEMmy. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just giving you credit for being an intelligent young woman.
Aw.
So then you did the 100,000 overnight. You said, wait a minute, this is a whole new path for me.
No, I didn't say that. Storm took me aside and gave me a speech. And he said,
What that mouth do? No,
he said, listen, you have all these followers now. You owe it to your followers to come out with more content. We're inviting tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. Come with 3 ideas. And then I was like, okay. Oh, I did. I said it.
You said like.
Oh, how many times? Just once?
Just once.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm waiting to slap. I'm giving you a nice slap, but.
I know you barely made contact.
I know.
With my
I'm
headphones.
not going to hit a woman on national television.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what happened. And then the next day, 11 a.m., came with 3 ideas. Doof, 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 bitty, bitty, bang, bang. Here we are.
Is that the noise it made? Bitty, bitty, bang, bang?
Yeah.
Fascinating. I love hearing these stories when it happens when somebody doesn't really plan an attack, when it happens not by design. You never said, hey, I'm going to go to Hollywood and make it as a starlet.
No, I actually hated it. I was so mad to be here. I wanted to go back to Oregon. And then, I don't know. I just met these people at the gym and they were vining and weren't trying to hit on me. And I was like, oh, I felt, not like, I felt.
Did you? I missed it. I could have slapped you.
Yeah, you could have
And if I miss it, I don't get to slap you later. So you have to get it right away.
Okay,
you know
great.
what I mean? That's the rule.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I have ADD. I haven't got my medication today.
So you were saying that they embraced you in the community. You said, wait, this is a fun new path. Here you are.
They're comedians. We were laughing. It was a great time.
And let's be honest. This has been, you and I went to Russia together. We
sure did.
We sure did. And we kind of knew each other before that. But you and I went, well, we met. We hadn't even met?
I
feel like
so.
we met.
I think we were just talking.
We were,
DMing.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's
what
it was.
Yeah, you DM'd me what that
I did.
I'm just kidding.
I DM'd you, let's shoot something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in a creepy way because I always hit up people that I think are talented to shoot with them. And I did the same with Rudy. And that's how me and Rudy became friends. I've hit up a few people like that to shoot with them that I said, they got pizzazz. They got that razzatazz. They got something in there. And then what's funny is you replied 2 years later.
Yeah. And
I think I still have it. It
really?
seriously was, I'm like,
connected
it's okay.
on that.
And I caught myself. You wouldn't have caught me.
Yeah.
And what do you say instead? And I thought and I said, what do you say? I'm using it right now. I get a hall pass. Instead of like you say, and I said, what do I say
Wait,
there?
what are you trying to say?
Exactly. I was thinking, oh, you didn't respond for 2 years because you finally responded and said, yes, let's shoot something. And I looked at the date and it was over 2 years later.
Yeah.
And then I made a joke about, oh yeah, you're on it.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we did shoot anything. And then we talked about this on the way to Russia. And I got to just say one thing. Sorry to cut you off. I was very impressed with your educational response mechanism called your brain, because when we were in Russia, you woke up really early and we were all jet lagged, and you decided to take it upon yourself to go on a tour and learn about the history of Russia and why the buildings were so big and why they moved the blocks back. And you learned all these things. By the time I woke up hungover, you learned more about Russia than I've ever known. And I'm Russian, Lithuanian, technically similar.
Oh, yeah, you are Russian.
So I said, what's this girl's deal? She's out there learning and stuff.
Yeah, I took a whole tour.
What was that? Why do you always do that kind of stuff when you travel?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, if I don't go out the night before, I like waking up early and exploring. No way!
Oh, is that the right word of lake? I'm being nice slaps.
No,
that was not that was hard.
Pretty heavy.
Okay. Okay, I'll be nicer. I'm just gonna do
lots of tooth.
Okay, I'm just gonna next time it'll just be a little friend.
No, imagine.
Okay.
Throughout the podcast.
By the end of the show, we have no teeth.
Yeah.
So you were learning.
Yeah, I was learning.
Okay. Now you're afraid to say it, huh? So you got up early. You decided to learn about Russia, and I was impressed with that. And we had a great time.
And then I was so excited because so later on that day, I took you, Sammy, Anwar, and Rudy out and gave you guys the tour of what I just learned.
And I don't remember any of it.
I don't remember anything either.
You know, they say you retain like... They say you retain about, see, that's better. They say you retain about 20 to 30% of a book that you read. I feel like I'm more 10%.
Yeah.
My memory's really bad. I smoked a lot of pot in my younger years. And now I don't smoke pot anymore, and I'm going through a lot of strange things. Feelings, emotions. I call people back. I'm starting to remember stuff.
Really?
I had a lucid dream last night. Are you familiar with lucid dreams? Uh-huh. It's when you're cognizant of the fact that you're dreaming, so you say, hey, I'm dreaming, I'm going to fly. And you fly, or you do whatever you want. And I probably had this 5 times in my life. It's very rare you lucid dream.
You had
For
this
me,
last night?
Last night I had a lucid dream. And in my lucid dream, I saw myself in a mirror and I had a green face, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, I'm dreaming. I'm going to go punch my face. So I went up to my green face and I started like poking at it and punching it, thinking, I'm dreaming. This is okay. I can do this. And there was all these weird, and I was removing tattoos off of me, but it was a lucid dream. Have you ever had those?
Yeah.
All the time?
Not all the time. I have sleep paralysis more than that.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
So you don't sleepwalk, you're just paralysis.
Correct.
So what does that mean? You lay there and you can't get up?
Yeah. You just can't get up.
So you're laying in bed. Does this happen in the morning when you wake up and then, oh, I can't move, or is it middle of the night?
It happens to me on airplanes, believe it or not. It's so spooky. So
That's
scary. I just got back from Miami, and on the flight, on the flight, I was having sleep paralysis. I'm trying not to say like.
Oh, it's okay. I know, right? Isn't it hard?
It's hard.
No, this is a good exercise to work on, because I feel like if you slow down as you think before you talk, you can do it. But if we diarrhea mouth, it comes out a lot. My mom has a theory. She says, before you speak, think token, TKN. Is it true? Is it kind? And is it necessary?
Oh, I love that.
Right? So I'm working on that because I'm a diarrhea mouth. Blah, 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 blah. I don't listen. I just talk. I'm a crazy, crispy baby. I don't listen to people. I have a lot of problems. I wish that I had,
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot.
Coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk.
I'm going to have some of this.
Yeah, have some. So is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? And if you could stop and think that before each word you say, you'd be a Buddha ninja. But much less, even further than that, is just stop saying like so much. And I listen to podcasts with some of the most intelligent human beings. I'm an intellectual baby. I'm not smart, but I like listening to intellectual conversations. And you'd be surprised the caliber of smart people that say like. It's an epidemic.
Yeah.
So maybe we're bringing some awareness to it right now.
We are.
And by slapping each other, it's like a Pavlovian technique. Right? Do you know Pavlov?
No, I don't.
Okay, Pavlov was a dog. I think it was a dog trainer who, anytime the dog would do something, they'd shock the dog, so the dog would stop barking or peeing.
Oh, that's what my dad does to my dog.
It's called Pavlovian training. So
Got
it's
it.
almost like we're doing it to each other minus the shock collar.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but is it true? I see you slowing down thinking. I don't want to say it.
You see my eyes going like this?
Yeah.
Live Aid.
Live Aid. And you pulled the plug.
So, pulled the plug. I got a lot of tweets saying, ha ha ha, Hanita is so funny.
Is that the accent that they said it in?
Yeah.
Because it was in South America.
Yeah.
Where was this? South America? In
It was
Venezuela?
in Colombia, right by the Venezuelan border.
And how did it feel to go down there and see what was going on? Because we live a very sheltered life up here in this bubble called Los Angeles. When you go into those areas of the world and you see what's really happening, it's a wake-up call.
It is.
It's humbling.
It's like it's a big shock.
Yeah.
And seeing it makes you want to help that much more.
And you did help by you just showing up. I bet you brought through your social media some attention to it, and people donated money, or what? How did that work?
Yeah. Well, the fact that whole Live Aid kind of came about in a few weeks, and we were all promoting it heavy, and then we showed up. I went out on stage and introduced Lele in Spanish.
And she's a big deal down there. Well,
Yeah,
speaking
she's
of Lele
Venezuelan,
Pons,
yeah.
she is Venezuelan.
Yeah. So I think she's the biggest person from Venezuela. I heard that somewhere.
In the
I'm not
world,
sure.
as far as what maybe just net worth, followers, etc.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
One of those. But yeah, and then they had a live stream
Right.
of the whole concert, and that's what generated the most money, I think.
Beautiful. So you did something good. It feels good to give back. Do you have any charities you work with, or do you do any hands-on stuff to give back?
Yeah, actually, do you know who Jane Goodall is?
Jane Goodall, yeah.
It's my godmother.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, for real.
Jane Goodall, the
Chimpanzee. Yeah.
I think you told me this before, but I have a horrible memory. I was just watching her the other day on her old footage with the monkey or the gorilla orangutans.
Chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees. Are you a monkey believer?
Heck yeah, man.
You believe in monkeys? Now, do you
What
believe?
does that even mean? Am I a
Do you
monkey believer?
believe in evolution?
Yeah.
In that we are closely related DNA-wise to our primate brothers and sisters, and that evolutionarily speaking, we just branched off from the regalia, and now we're just monkeys with skin with problems. Like, well, we got to think. We have the prefrontal cortex. We worry too much. We're just evolved monkeys. So what did she?
This is what I think. I do believe in evolution, but don't you think if we've evolved from chimpanzees into humans, why are there still chimpanzees?
Well, that's an interesting point, because if you look at it like a branching off into many different directions, some have evolved more than others. There's a bunch of primates. You know, they say DNA wise, we're closely related to the chimp and the bonobo, the closest. We're more closely related to the chimp and the bonobo DNA wise than the African elephant is to the Indian elephant. That's how closely related we are. That's what Jared Diamond, who's a very famous archaeologist, primatologist from UCLA, says.
You are an intellectual baby.
I'm an intellectual crispy baby. I'm actually just regurgitating Chris Ryan, who I read his book, and I'll probably forget these numbers and statistics soon enough. But I find it fascinating because we are just all a bunch of animals that evolved from the same. If we all evolved from the same thing, that means I could go look at a toucan, and I'm related. Well, I have a big nose, but I could be related to a toucan.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck's going on?
Feathers?
That's crazy. I could just think about that stuff all day. I'm fascinated with that. If you weren't doing, was there any other stuff in school besides forensics? What were you doing again in school? Forensics?
Pre-med. I really wanted to go into surgery.
So what would you want to do? Operate on human beings? What would you want to do? Remove stuff?
Yeah.
Like what?
Fix people.
Do you think you still would ever do it? Probably not.
Probably
You're making a good living.
Yeah.
And having fun doing it.
I am. I think like. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think.
She said like.
I did.
Oh, no,
Oh,
that
no,
was,
you were
yeah, come
okay.
on.
I think if I wasn't doing this, see what I'm doing now is I'm kind of starting to do comedy sketches and putting, like fact. Oh, I just said it again. See, this is so hard to talk like this.
I know. It's should we just forget it and just have fun and talk, because otherwise this is going to be real slow and hard to listen to. Okay, let's just forget. We slapped each other enough.
Okay, we did.
The rules are over. Now the listeners know we say like too much. Have fun. Okay. Yeah, you're incorporating your educational prosthesis. Is that a word? Into your regalia.
Comedy skits.
I know. I've noticed that. You're teaching. See, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, there it is.
It's okay.
I'm kind of like hacking.
Yeah.
Little kids.
No, I love that.
Into learning something and getting something out of my videos.
And you have a very large, very young fan base, which is adorable, because anytime I'm with any of my friends' kids who are just cute little rascals, whether they're 6 or 8 years old, and they always little crispy rascals. They see that I've done a comedy video with you, and they're like, you know it, and then I send you the video, and you think it's cute.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, you have a very young audience, and I think it's important that they be taught some things to make it cool. Make it cool to learn some of these things, because I'll tell you this much. When I was a kid, I remember more pop culture stuff than I remember learning something in 5th grade, which is why I'm actually working on a kids album right now. I'm doing a children's music album.
Oh, that's so
Rudy
cool.
helped me with it too. So I'm doing a kids album to really get in their head the values and the learn, because I think that's really important. That's our job. It's almost your responsibility.
It is. And when parents see their kids watching something that can benefit them, they love that. They love that even more.
You have a character. One of your characters, isn't one of your characters on YouTube the science girl? What is it? You have a character who's like a smarty, a sciencey?
I kind of have like a few different versions of that, but yeah.
Yeah, which is good. I think I'm just saying I think it's important that you do that because these little rascals, they need some guidance. They need to be taught. It's important, and I think you're stepping up to the plate, and I give you credit for that one.
Oh my God, thanks.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a very good thing.
Yes.
Now, about Johnny and Sammy, your managers.
Yeah.
Now, these two guys, they are a trouble tandem, because these two guys together are a couple of cookie monsters. The way they run around handling business is like, they're like, hey, boom, bam, boom.
Bitty, bitty, bang, bang.
You know what I mean?
Bingo, bango, bango, boom.
Baka, boo. The noises that they make when
Hum
they
die
close
away,
it.
hum die white. Umlaut.
Whoa. When they close a deal, it sounds tribal in the chest. So they're always making moves. Anytime I'm with Sammy and Johnny, one of them's on the phone. One of them is doing this. Oh, Justin Bieber. Oh, Rudy Mancuso. Oh, look at this. I'm closing deals. Floyd Mayweather. Oh, you're eating your
Simon Rex.
Yeah. Oh, Simon, you're eating your little appetizer. I just closed the deal, loser. These guys are on it. Do you feel they're an integral part of the success of the Shots crew? Let's tell everyone listening, the Shots crew is you, Lele, Rudy, Batch. Who's in the Shots crew?
It's me, Lele, Rudy, Anwar, Alesso, who's a DJ. Alesso, and Anita, who's like the Brazilian queen.
She is. So that's the
and Delaney, she's a dancer.
Okay, so that's is there an extended
and
Shots
Wampa.
family?
Wampa.
Oh, right.
Wampa's now part of Shots.
Now, Anwar, I met on our trip to Russia, and I sat next to him on the plane, and I never knew him. And I thought at first, I was like, oh, yeah, funny guy. But in person, I never really clicked with him. By the time we landed in Moscow, I was in love with this man.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He's best.
He's a lot better than you at everything.
I agree.
What is his deal? Where does it come from? He's just got a natural thing that's so loving. And
it's so, yeah. Like, I just said like again.
It's
but
okay. I'm not slapping you anymore.
I've never heard a person say, Anwar, gosh. You know, like if you hear Anwar's name, you're excited that he's coming.
Yeah, he never and not only that, he never posts content that's like skip. You know what I mean?
I know.
He's always solid. He has
always
great
on.
ideas.
Yeah.
He's nailing it.
Yeah.
So that's the Shots crew, and you guys have a very tight-knit family that always work together. And what I want to tell you is I've been around this game for a long time, and to see that you guys are kind of created your own world, that you don't need the Hollywood infrastructure. I was telling this to Rudy. I come from a generation before where there was a handful of people that would handpick talent and say, okay, you're doing this, you're doing this. You guys did it your way. You guys created your own thing via Instagram and YouTube and Vine, and said, fuck Hollywood. Well, I don't know if you meant to say this, but you're like, we don't need the machine. We have the fans. We have a phone. We have a camera. We have a computer. Let's do it our way, and no one's going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And your work ethic, we shot a couple things together to watch how much you take it seriously and to watch how involved you are. Maybe some people just watch your stuff and they don't know that you're editing it, you're writing it, you're creating it. It's a lot of work.
It's literally every single day.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
I'm lazy. Yeah, you should be, because you guys are working your ass off. And I'm a lazy guy, and I sit back, I go, man, these guys are motivating me to get my shit together, because you guys are hustlers. Mm-hmm. It's really inspiring to see. Yeah. So hats off to you guys.
Thanks,
No, I'm
Simon,
serious,
you're best.
because I come from the generation before where everyone just sort of sits around, waits for the phone to ring, and doesn't create their own content. And nowadays you can't do that, which is why I've always sort of came to visit your world with Rudy and everybody.
Smart, yeah.
And jump in and say, hey, every now and then I'll get invited to shoot a video with you guys, and I'm always there because I always love. I have so much fun shooting with you guys because we improv, we just do our own thing. And then when we edited, you said, Simon, come to the editing room. I want your opinion. And you let me sit in with you. We went over some stuff with Marlon Wayne's shoot we did.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, what do you think? And you let me suggest a couple of things. And you go, oh, okay, great, thank you. And then I left, and then you continued to edit, but you were open. That goes a long way.
Oh, yay.
There's a lot of people who are too, like, slap me. There are a lot of people who are too stubborn who don't want other people's ideas. And I don't
Yeah.
think that gets you very far. You need to be open to criticism, to other ideas. So
Yeah.
you guys are killing it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Simon.
No, I'm serious.
Yes.
If you were stuck on an island,
Ooh, I
you
love
like
these
where this
questions.
is going? Okay, if you were stuck on a deserted island, you could have one human being, male or female. Who would that be on the island?
Like to help me get off the island?
All things included. Help you get a coconut, help you laugh, help you cook, sleep next to you. What's it going to be? Male, female, someone funny, someone strong?
Probably both. Can I say The Rock Johnston?
Very good answer.
Right?
Do you think he would? I guess he would be good with coconuts. He'd be strong. He'd be good with building a hut. Strong.
Boom. He'd be funny, right?
He'd be funny. And worst comes to worst, you eat his torso and legs because he's big. So if he,
Lot of meat.
sleep, kill, eat,
Yeah.
he's a good survival baby.
Wait, what about you? Who would you have?
It's a very good question.
Male or female?
Well, very good question. See, initially I want to say female just for human copulatory reasons. And I want to be affectionate and cuddle. But it'd have to be someone who's, cuddly, somebody who's hunty. Is that a word?
Hunty?
Somebody who's coconutty, who could get coconuts and break
Cuckoo
them
for
open.
coconuts?
Who's like a tough chick, like Michelle Rodriguez or someone, because she's funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
She
like
might,
that.
maybe a Michelle Rodriguez or someone. We could have a laugh. We could have a cuddle. We
Yeah.
could be friends.
Good conversation.
Good conversation. So I'm gonna say her. I don't know why. It just popped in my head.
No, that's a really good answer.
Because not like Angelina Jolie, because she wouldn't be helpful.
No.
She'd be high maintenance. Where's my 8 cans? Shut up. Like, anyway. Okay. Favorite food. So you're stuck on this island. You get one genre of food. Italian, sushi, Mediterranean. Those are the accents I'm doing. Chinese.
All right, listen.
Egyptian.
Yo, ever since I've been a little kid, I've been on an all carb diet. I always eat carbs, whether it's garlic bread, pasta, pizza, you name it.
So that could be a lot of genres.
That could be a lot,
so
but just all carbs.
So a carby diet like Italian-y?
Yeah, or can carbohydrates just be its own?
I don't think that's a genre, but I get where you're going. So you would eat a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
That's a good one.
Or
I think I
Greek.
might go Korean barbecue. I love me some Korean barbecue.
Wow.
I don't know. Wow.
Oh, no,
Oh, no, don't start. I think lately I'm on a Korean barbecue kick, but I always change. Now, do you have a health regiment? Do you do exercise? You're not a gym rat.
No.
You did volleyball.
That was enough for me.
You're at a young age. You seem to contain your magnificent glow, but I don't think that you are a gym rat person. I think you're one of those people who has such low stress, even though you're in a high stress environment, because of your mental attitude. You're always nice to your fans. I noticed you've never been rude to your fans. You always are smiling. I feel like you're healthy because of your mental state. What do you think?
Wow. Nobody's ever said that, but I think you're onto something.
But it's true. I've never seen
Yeah.
you be, even when you get fed up on set, I've seen you get a little like testy, and even then you seem to put on a smile, and you can't learn that. I think people go to therapy and they try to learn how to be such a Zen monkey like you, but you naturally inhabit such a rigatoni that you're a carby. It's the carbs. It might be the carbs. What? What? Do you like
The
my
words,
analysis?
yeah, your analogies, your words, a Zen monkey.
Yeah, and you're a carby.
It's the carbs.
It's a carbon. Maybe it's a carbon-based diet.
Yeah, you're
it's-
probably right.
I've
Well,
ne-
hey, look at you though. You look great,
I feel great.
and you're always spot on. And the fact that you can improv the way you do, and if I'm like, hey Simon, give us a little jingle about this specific building in Russia,
Yeah.
you go on and on like a tour guide.
I'm usually pretty good at that, depending on how much coffee I've had. I like to improv. I feel like the magic can flow. You get in that flow state, and you can just have some fun with that. But I don't know if that affects my overall stress health levels. I think my brain just works very fast.
Got it. And has it always worked fast like that?
Yeah, maybe too fast. I'm working on slowing down. I do
too.
meditation. This sounds really lame, but I do meditation.
With certified health nut?
I do actually do it with, I don't meditate with him. I do other stuff. He's teaching me Tai Chi.
Oh.
and he's teaching me body movement regalia. I also do yoga. I do hot yoga. I went yesterday, which is very humbling.
I went to one of those and I almost passed out.
Yeah, I passed out in class.
Wait, you
Yeah,
actually
I actually
fainted.
fell asleep. Not fainted. I was laying down at the end and I fell asleep.
See, I almost fainted.
I went in Denver and the altitude's so high between the hot and the altitude that I passed out. But it was, you know, when you're half asleep, kind of like your catatonic state you go into where you're like paralysis. Mm-hmm. You know that state when you're like, I slapped myself, like I said, when you're half asleep and you go into that place, it's a beautiful place to be. And I went there in yoga class and I was like, slap myself. I went half asleep and I was in and out of consciousness, and that's a fun place to be. So I reached nirvana. I think people go to yoga just for the physical, but I like to go in there to shut up my monkey brain. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing a lot of things to slow down because I'm nervous wrecks. So I'm working on breathing. Will you take a deep breath with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath, and everyone listening out there, I want you to do this with us. Me and Hannah are going to take a deep breath, and I want you to, doesn't matter nose or mouth, we're going to do a Wim Hof breath together. Okay, you guys ready? All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go. How easy is that? It's the first thing you do when you're born. Come out, breathe. Breathe, breathe. And then I feel like people do it wrong. I've been breathing from my chest for most of my adult life.
So you breathe
I'm
from
trying to
your
breathe
tummy.
from the diaphragm. If you can help it, you know, usually breathe in through the nose, expand your diaphragm. Exhale. If you could do that, I feel like you'd reduce overall stress levels. Most people are uptight, a lot of road rage going on out here.
You know what I like to do? Or when I don't get a lot of sleep, I notice that my brain gets foggy, right? So then I research that. And this is why. So, do you know what your lymphatic system is?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, for the people who are listening who don't know what it is, it's like a little complex that's in your body, and it goes from the tips of your fingers to the tips of your toes all the way up until your head. And it's responsible for kind of filtering out dead cells, right? So, cells in your body are always regenerating. You kind of think about, okay, if the lymphatic system isn't in your head, what gets rid of all the dead cells in your head, right? So, it's only when you've reached REM sleep and it gets flushed out by the cerebral spinal fluid.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
fascinated with this.
It's called amyloid beta is the buildup that kind of causes your brain to become foggy. So it's so important to get sleep because excess amyloid beta, or like a buildup of amyloid beta, actually causes Parkinson's.
Interesting. And I notice sometimes if I have sleep deprivation, I sort of operate on this weird wavelength where I'm almost high. It's a weird place where you can actually use it and embrace it. I was working with Rudy shooting a skit the other day, and I'd only slept 2 hours, and I was so out of it because I slept and I had to get up early on a flight, and I had 2 hours sleep, and I was so out of it I felt like I was on some hallucinogens or something crazy, and I was so zombified. And I go, just use it to your advantage. So while we were acting, I was like acting all kind of loopy and crazy because I was so deprived of my what's the word?
Well, you had amyloid beta buildup.
Amyloid beta buildup.
Yeah, so you got to flush that out.
Yeah, sleeping is so important. Think about this. If you sleep 8 hours a night, that's a third of your life, 8, 16, 24.
Crazy,
so you want to get a nice mattress to spend a third of your life in. And in that 8 hours of sleep, they say that you go into REM that you dream 30%. I just read this, that you dream 30% of that 8 hours. Now, I'm no wizard at math, but I'm going to say that's 2.5 hours of dream time?
Yeah.
You add that all up, if you have a 75-year life, you're talking 20 years
Crazy.
of REM time. That's a lot of dream state time. I'm fascinated with that dream world because I have things happen to me in life where I have psychic dreams where I can.
No way.
Have you ever had a psychic dream?
I just think about something and then it happens.
See, you're tuned in. I think your pineal gland is very dialed in because you're an alien baby and you're not your normal person. So I think that you operate on an alien frequency, but there's some people out there who maybe cloud it too much with Bud Light and marijuana and stuff like that. But I think you're a clear channel, so you're a receiver as much as a giver. And what happens is that when you get into that pineal gland, if you think about it, it's a pineal gland. It's a pine cone, and it's the sacred geometry. It's a pine cone. It's an ever-ending, swirling, beautiful Fabrizio pattern. I think I said that wrong, but it's fascinating to me because I have psychic abilities sometimes when I'm very clear. I had a dream the other night that I saw a beautiful homeless woman, and I woke up, I said, what the heck was that about? She was beautiful, homeless woman, beautiful. Walk outside, I saw a beautiful homeless woman walk by. What was that about? I'm tapping into something. Now, it was a useless psychic ability, but nonetheless, I saw it happen before it happened. So what does that mean? I think the more REM you go into, the more psychic you can be.
Maybe.
Are you familiar with Carl Jung or Sigmund Freud and their dream analysis?
Bro, Sigmund Freud?
Yeah.
Love Sigmund
Freud. Yeah, I'm just learning. I never went to college.
The father of psychology?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And Carl Jung.
I don't know Carl Jung.
Okay, he was sort of the other one. He may be, I don't know if he's the father of psychology, but he's very, you should look into him. I'm just learning about them, and it's fascinating stuff because the older you get, I feel I want to make up for the lost years that I never went to college. I want to learn. So I'm constantly watching, reading.
Do you watch TED Talks?
I do watch TED Talks.
TED Talks are the best.
You know what TED is an acronym for?
What?
Oh, I forgot. I think it's technology,
education,
and
driving, drugs.
I don't know. Some of our listeners are yelling at what the answer is, but in any case, TED Talks are fascinating. I saw a Graham Hancock one that was really interesting. He's someone I'm into, and they took it down because he had some really valid points about some lost civilizations. I'm into that stuff. Are you a conspiracy theorist? Because I'm not, and I don't want to argue with you.
I'm not.
Okay, me neither. Here's my theory
I
on
do
that.
like hearing about it, though.
It's very entertaining. But when people say that there's all these conspiracies, they say for 3 people to keep a secret, 2 people got to get killed. Okay, have you ever heard that saying? That's like, no one's going to keep a secret forever because someone's going to talk. So as far as all these conspiracies like moon landing, chemtrails, all these things, somebody would say something. Like, I don't think that many people could keep a secret together. Do you know what I'm saying? And then when I tell people that, like, oh, they kill the ones. No, they don't. I don't believe it. Yeah. But it's fun to think about. I went through my conspiracy theory phase when I was younger, and then I realized, what am I going to do about it, and how does it affect my day-to-day life? I don't give a shit anymore. I just care about what's in front of me.
Yeah,
Coffee, Hannah, podcast. I don't want to worry about the moon landing. Like, it doesn't fucking matter.
I know if the Earth is flat. I don't know,
that's a whole nother regalia. I think it's round.
Me too.
And I don't care if it's a triangle, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make a difference, but it's round.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make a difference. We're still here. It's still the same.
It's a waste of time and energy, if you will.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're on the same page with that one. Let's talk about your recent adoption of dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you got Roscoe and Kittens. What are their names again? Bosco and Tico. What's the dogs' names?
One is Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce, named after Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then I just got another one, a little baby, sweet baby rascal.
Little cookie.
A girl one. And then we named her Patty because Bruce Springsteen's wife in real life is Patty.
Very, very thoughtful dog naming. Do they get along?
Yeah, they do.
Does Patty lay on Bruce in cute ways? Do they cuddle?
They make out. Like, I'll come in the kitchen at night where they stay.
They get in trouble?
Oh, no. Bruce is just laying there and Patty's licking his lips.
Ooh. And is that legal? Are they of dog age difference? I mean, is it too young for them to be making out yet?
I think it's too young, yeah.
Okay.
But
it's puppy love.
Oh, puppy love. Yeah, but I caught him in the act.
It's okay.
I mean, I don't condone it until, she's at least 18. But I still caught him.
Well, 18 dog years, so that's like 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Now, the dogs together, are you going to get any more animals? Do you want to farm one day? Are you going to, what's the end goal for you? Are you going to have a bunch of dogs? Do you want to stay city girl? Do you want to go back to Oregon, have a farm? What's your big goal play?
So I'm going to get a new house, right? And I want a big backyard. And eventually I'm going to have a family. Maybe I'll have little Hannah Bananas running around. And whenever they say, hey, Mom, I want to get a puppy. Instead of me being a mom, like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. We don't have enough time. Who's going to take care of it? I'm going to be like, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And then I'm going to end up with 40 dogs.
So you're not going to be a cat lady. You'll be a dog lady.
No, both.
Both. You have cats
and
too.
dogs.
Now, do you think it's true what they say, the difference between cats and dogs, that if you die in your apartment, your cat will eat your body to survive?
I've never heard of that.
Okay, listen, this is a true thing from what I understand. If you died in your apartment, your dog would starve to death next to you. If no one opened the door and it was locked in there, your dog would starve to death next to you and die.
Oh, yeah.
Your cat would eat you to survive.
Yeah.
That's the difference between a dog and a cat. And that's why I don't trust those little frasky felines.
Yo, so my Frasky feline is like a rag doll with a pulse.
You have a frasky feline?
I have 2.
What? You have cats too?
I have 2 cats. One Frasky feline who's a girl, right? And then we got her in Oregon.
What's
and
a
then
frasky feline? I don't even know. Okay.
we got her in Oregon, and then we got her from the breeders because
Okay.
we wanted a full-bred Persian, or my sister did when we were younger. So then my sister said, hey, I want little baby Frasky feline. So we took her back to the breeder. They fucked up at the breeders because they put my girl cat with her father. So she actually mated with her father.
Oh, so
And
it's a
then
frasky feline.
Yeah, that's an actual Frasky feline. So when she had little babies, they're a little
And
Frasky.
they're little fraskies.
So then we took one, and this one we named him Ian because my sister was dating a bunch of Mormons, and one of the Mormons that she was dating had 6 brothers and sisters. So she thought it was cool to name all the Frasky feline babies after her Mormon boyfriend's brother and sister. So Ian. And Ian, only one of his balls is dropped. His tongue always sticks out of his mouth, and he's cross-eyed, but we still love him so much.
You know, sometimes fraskies are even better. I find that I have a friend of mine who had similar situation with a dog where they had a little frasky dog, and the dog is adorable, and the dog had a little breath problems, but he was, he'd bounce around. He had a little tongue to the side. Adorable. Let him in the family. No judgment here.
Yeah, man. Ian has cost me like a cool 12 racks of veterinary expenses.
It gets expensive.
Yeah.
Now, I feel that human names for pets is adorable.
I love
now,
it.
you went with Bruce, Ian, and Jenna?
And
What's
Patty.
Patty.
I
Those
want
are
a
very
chicken.
human
I
names.
want a chicken and name her Michelle.
Michelle. That's a very human name. Yeah, I had a dog named Dwayne. Rest in peace. And someone said to me once, you named your dog after a 48-year-old black substitute teacher? I said, yes, I did.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't really name it that, but it sounded like an old black man's name.
Yeah,
Dwayne.
yeah.
It's not
Dwayne.
even like a normal young human name. It's like an old-timer's name.
It is, yeah.
And I thought it was cute, so I named him Dwayne. It just
like
popped in my head. I was
Dwayne.
looking at him one day, and Dwayne. It just came to me. Human names. I have a friend who had a
For
dog named
pets,
Stevie.
it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's too easy to name your dog Ruffles
Or Fluffy.
or Frasky. Yeah. So you seem like an animal lover. You have an open heart. You have a big heart. You have a great sense of humor. So I feel like you'd be a good animal owner. And now these dogs have something to play with while you're out busy because you're a busy human.
That's why I got sweet little Patty.
Yeah, good. So so right now you don't have the house with the yard, but that's the goal. Have the big house with the yard, the family, the kids that get to play with the animals. That's that beautiful happily ever after for you. Do you see yourself back in Oregon, maybe Los Angeles? Where would you be? Because you're your own boss. You could shoot wherever you want.
It's true. I think that Ashland, Oregon, where I'm from, is the most beautiful place in the whole wide world. I did spend 18 years there. Will I spend more time there, live there? Probably not. So the options are endless.
Okay,
May
I like that.
stay here or New York? I don't know. It could be
New
where-
York, that's an interesting
It
one.
is.
Maybe
I just said that.
Right. Okay. Because it could
that.
be anywhere. So you're in LA for a while. You're looking to buy something in Southern California, probably sooner than later. And then maybe one day, maybe like you'll retire with the Frasky family out back in Oregon when you're an old timer, come
old-timer,
around
yeah.
back to where I grew up around here in Asheville, young Graspy. And then
Just like
it's a full circle. I could
full
see you being
circle.
a grandma, and I mean that in the best way. You know, you don't look like a grandma, but you have the effort, you have the essence of an old granny.
I want to
in
be a
that
cool grandma.
You're gonna be knitting.
Oh my God. Did you know I know how to knit? There was something called Ashland Runway in my town. I won.
You were knitting as a child in Ashland.
I was knitting and sewing, and I even knit a socktopus. I knit an octopus. You know how hard that is? I stuffed it with stuffing. I gave them all different socks.
Wow.
8 socks, octopus.
Do you still have Socktopus? Do you really?
Yeah, I sure do. Or
Do you-
my mom does.
And your mom's still in Asheville?
No, she's
Ashland?
here
Asheville.
now. Ashland.
Ashland, Oregon. Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, she's here.
I went there once before on tour, and we passed through, and it was a beautiful little town with health food store, and I had a bowl of salad that I'll never forget. It was a
Really?
healthy bowl of salad. It was a very healthy, organic place.
Yeah.
A lot of hippies.
A lot of hippies, it's legal to be naked if you're not trying to sexually arouse anybody.
Right.
So outside of my high school, there was always, little naked fairies running around.
I found that I saw a naked colony recently when I drove through the desert, and it's like a nudist colony, but those naked people usually aren't as attractive as you'd want them to be. They're usually soggy oldies, They're kind of like soctopuses. They're just flopping around, and there's nothing worth looking at. And I always had a hard time, like when I go into I don't want to see another, I don't know if I'm sexually frustrated or oppressed, but I don't want to look at someone naked unless I'm friends with them. And if they're just a weird stranger staring at me naked, it's weird.
Oh, yeah. If they're naked, they're staring at you. And I got that a lot when I was a high schooler.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, so I'll be sure to stay away from the nudist part of town. Mm-hmm. No soctopuses around me, please. Anything coming up that you would like to tell the listeners about? Any new projects? Besides your constant influx of amazing YouTube videos that are very funny.
Oh, yeah. So I'm doing that a lot. I'm partnering with Malibu Rum, and I'm hosting the Malibu Games in the Dominican Republic.
You're going to DR?
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
I've never been. That's one place I want to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm doing that. There's something that I collabed with Rudy on. Did Rudy talk about it?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't remember things.
Oh, okay.
Especially Rudy talking. I just in one ear out the other.
Right. So I did something really cool with him. I don't know if we're allowed to say that yet. But
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's okay. Hold it on ice. Because who knows when this will come out. It might even be after the fact anyway, and we could always promote it later.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to thank you for your time because I know you're a very desirable guest.
Oh.
So thank you for coming and talking with me. This was
a treat for me.
This was fun.
This was a crispy treat.
This was a crispy treat, and I wish nothing but the best for you and the Raspy family. Was it Raspy? Is that what we said? Rasky.
It was
Rasky?
Frisky? Raspy?
Frasky.
Frascals.
Whatever they are, I want nothing but the best for you and your Frasky animals. And I'm not worried about you. I think the sky's the limit for young Hannah Stocking.
Oh,
so thank you so much. And everyone listening, it's just at Hannah Stocking on Instagram, YouTube, they'll find you. They know where to find you.
Hannah Stocking?
Everywhere. Yep, that's it. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yay, love you, Simon.
Thanks for slapping me all day.
Oh, hey, likewise.
Yay.
Tooth's a little loose.